guys, welcome to Global Dance Sessions. We have the most amazing female on the panel today. We have Angyil. What up, Angyil?
Oh, thank you guys for having me. Shout out to South Africa. Shout out to Global Dance. Thank you guys.
Man, it's an honor having you. So, Angyil, for anyone who doesn't know who you are and what you do, who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm not really good about talking about myself, but my name is Angyil, dancer. I like to dance, and I enjoy a bunch of other things like sewing and yeah, it's pretty.
Hey, do you make clothes?
I do.
Oh,
Yes.
nice. That's awesome. So, how are you surviving COVID? I mean, that's always the question that everyone's asking.
How am I surviving COVID? Honestly, it hasn't been that bad. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm a natural introvert, so I'm not really bothered. I mean, I have my friends, I have my family. So I haven't been traveling or working as much, but I mean, hasn't been something that's not something that's new. Like I've been there before as well. So like you adapt and you've been through certain things before. So I mean, it hasn't been as bad, just adapting.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, everyone's just saying it's like, it's a time to like spend time with yourself a lot more, like actually just be like, focus on yourself, you know, and we need that sometimes, you know, sometimes the traveling and everything gets so, not that it's a blessing, but it can get a lot. And this time doesn't mean it's negative always. We always have like a negative, connotation to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you've been to South Africa a while ago. Tell us about your trip. Why did you come down? What was it for? What do you feel? Was it the first time in Africa or first time in South Africa? Tell us about your time here.
The most recent trip I took was in January, and it wasn't my first time in Africa. I've been to South Africa. I've been to South Africa before. But the reason why I came in January, it was to shoot for Dance Your Style, the footage. And we were shooting like videos and all that kind of stuff for Dance Your Style. So it was pretty nice. It was dope. I actually only got to spend like 2 days in South Africa because I was coming back from a trip in Greece. So it's like clashing. But yeah, coming to Africa and South Africa is always a good time. I have some friends there, so I'm grateful for them. It's pretty great every time I come.
Awesome. And the first time you came here, was it for work or were you just visiting to see South Africa?
The first time I came was just visiting. I just wanted to learn more about the culture in South Africa. I wanted to like explore and just to like honestly just to learn more. I actually took some Pantula classes.
Nice.
And, yeah, just basically learn more and experience my friends and hang out and train.
Nice.
And while I was out there, but my intentions were just to come there and to learn.
Yeah, it's like home for you now. Yeah. So I believe you are trained, besides being in the hip hop scene, you are trained in other styles?
Yes. So I started off with ballet, jazz, and modern. I went to performing arts school in Kansas City, and I got accepted into this program as an Allen Ailey program, and they basically trained me, and I trained with the program and in the school. And yeah, so I trained that, and I fell in love with the discipline of those styles and the love and the passion that my teachers had for me, and how driven I was and am. But during that time, it just really gave me like a stepping stone as far as discipline. And when I really something, and when I'm taking something serious, what I should do when I'm taking something serious.
Sure. So at the time, were those the only styles you were doing, or were you learning? Were you in the hip hop scene already, or did that come after?
So the interesting thing with the hip hop scene is in States, like everybody does it. Like I grew up culture, like I grew up doing in a backyard, listen to backyard barbecues, family
Yeah.
outings, and everybody does it. But the thing is that it wasn't involved in the schools.
Yeah.
It was only ballet, jazz, and modern that were involved. The classical style of dancing that was in in the schools. So I mean, I remember like going to the school and asking my teacher, like, is there any hip hop classes? And he was like, no, there's no hip hop here. So I literally just trained in those styles at school, but I mean, outside of school with my family and friends, like we were always dancing.
Always, yeah, it was life.
Exactly.
Sure, that's awesome. And so when did things switch that were you wanting to pursue like a career in dance and thought that it might have been maybe, you know, ballet and everything, but then it actually turned into hip hop? Or I don't know, did you have some sort of different discovery for yourself?
Yes. So actually, I moved to New York to dance ballet, and I was training there. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do ballet. I love it so much. The many Black women in ballet.
Yeah.
And also I had people, some of my mentors at the time, like telling me like, oh, you could really do this. This is great, you know. So I kind of felt like I had to like do that for like many other reasons. But then honestly, I felt like my life wasn't like, I don't feel like ballet reflected my life. Not to say that ballet is not gritty or dirty, or not to say that. Anyway,
yeah,
I didn't feel like
no, totally. I get you.
I was in a point where I was like, I just want to be honest with my feelings and my emotions, and hip hop was the closest thing to that. So I was like, I'm grateful for this opportunity and the opportunities that I had been given to bring. But I was just thinking to myself, like, I can't do this anymore.
Sure. That's
got into.
Yeah, that's cool. So with that, do you feel, just with the different industries, do you feel as a female and as a Black female, do you feel like it's difficult to be seen in I don't know, sometimes it's like the discussion of females feeling like the hip hop is a male dominating industry. Like, do you feel that is a relevant statement, or do you feel the effects of that at all? And then coming from a ballet side where a lot of it is female driven, and a lot of males are obviously getting a lot of flack for being, you know, a ballet dancer. What do you feel from crossing from those two industries as a female? What are your feelings about it?
I mean, I guess it feels interesting, but I mean, my life has been hard enough already, so I didn't really like think of it too much. But as far as crossing over into crossing over from ballet to hip hop, I mean, I knew that it was male dominated before I even crossed over through the music messages that were being spread. So I mean, I already knew what was up, so I wasn't really surprised. But also, like, I was fortunate enough to grow up around men who like taught me certain things and who told me the truth, who didn't like shield me from things, so that in the real world I wouldn't be so like helpless. So did get heavier into the hip hop industry. It didn't seem like I crossed over. I had already known about it and been there.
Yeah, totally.
But when it comes to the male aspect, I can't speak for a male, but as a woman, I don't really care so much. Like, I feel like I made it up in my mind that I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. So there's nothing that nobody can do about it, including them, even if they are dominating the industry. And I feel like a lot of women who were in the industry in the beginning of time when they were in the industry kind of have gotten swept under the rug, unfortunately. And I feel like as women, we have to be strong. We have to hold our own in these spaces, because if we don't, like, they're going to tell our stories. Like, we need to be present emotionally, physically, spiritually, in every way. Like, it's important for us to be present. So when I crossed over, I feel like I was very much so unapologetic. I was like, I don't care. Nobody thinks, care about any of that. It doesn't matter. That's not the reason why I dance, and that's not going to stop me from dancing. So it didn't bother me.
That's
at
amazing.
all.
Yeah. Do you feel with being a female, do you see other females feeling like they're almost so basically coming to battles and things? Do you feel like there's a preconception as if you're about a battle and there's guys battling and you're maybe one or two females in a section, do you feel like you're almost prejudged in some sort of way, or do you feel like there's almost like this heavy expectation for you to step up to a certain level, or you just like don't care and don't even see it as a difference between the males and the females?
I honestly feel like people do prejudge women, for sure. I feel like in society, that's just a societal problem.
Totally.
To dance, people tend to think that women are weaker in so many ways, especially when it comes to athletics, and dance is athletic. So I do feel like there is some prejudge and preconceived notion that women are like weaker, or even if a woman does something that's not that good, and they still get applause because they're like, oh, you did that was great for a woman, or anything like. I do feel like that definitely exists in the dance industry and the hip hop industry, should I say, for sure, and it's very heavy. Yeah, I can say that.
Yeah, and for yourself, you feel like the response, your own emotional response to it is that you just don't care and you're just going to work as hard, or is like, just asking this in a way that there's so many females who struggle with this type of thing. So what type of coping mechanisms do you have for yourself that can, because I know there's so many females who look up to you, and you're in an amazing spotlight, and your work ethic and your dedication and everything is amazing. But when it gets to this mindset of when you're in the industry and you feel like maybe, you're prejudged, what do you physically, or I mean emotionally, do to get your mind out of letting that get you down?
Mm-hmm. So something I feel like helps me is that I tell myself, when it comes to battling, I'm not a woman and they're not a man. Like, we're just people dancing, and the music is gonna start, and that's express ourselves. And sometimes as women, we have been programmed to think that men are stronger than us. So I feel like once you take that notion out of your mind that they're men and you're a woman, you're weaker, like, you kind of take that power away, the fact that they're stronger. In reality, when it comes to dance and athletics and hip hop, like, they're not. It's an equal playing field. Now, obviously, when it comes to athletics, men are built a certain way, but not to say that women can't do it. It just means that we have to work harder or adjust to our according to that particular move, but it's still possible. And something that helps me is to literally, like, whenever there's a battle going on, there's no gender. Like, I don't think to myself like, oh, there's a man across from me, and I don't care how big he is, I don't care how small he is. Like, he's dancing right now, he's expressing himself, and I'm about to express.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Because it's like, in the end, it's a stereotype that's been brought up, that's been planted in us. It's terrible. And like, we believe it so much when we're young, or maybe we're taught differently and we don't believe it so much. But so many females have believed it, that you have to work in such a crazy way to be equal to guys. Whereas like, in the end, if our minds are at the point of, you have ability to dance, I have ability to dance, anything, even if it's not dance, like in our lives, the stereotype is so hectic that we have to just cut the stereotype out, believe in ourselves, and push forward and never see. So like, that's really inspiring, really is. We keep talking hip hop. Your main style is what?
Honestly, when people ask me my main style, honestly, I do both hip hop and popping. Like, I would enter a battle of hip hop and popping any day. Awesome. So yeah, I would say my main styles are hip hop and popping for sure. But people are just so popping because like, I enjoy the music. I like really enjoy the music, but I also like popping to hip hop tracks. But people don't hip hop tracks and popping battles. I think that is just interesting because I go on these moments where I'm like, okay, I feel like dancing hip hop, but it's not because I'm like gravitating more towards that. It's the music for me. Like if I'm in the mood of hip hop music, I'm gonna enter a bunch of battles that are hip hop based battles. Feel like listening to some funk, then I'm gonna be entering popping battles. It all just depends on like the moment.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Because I mean, I know it's whenever people refer to you, it's like it's popping, but I've seen you kill it in hip hop battles in Singapore. Like it's, you just like, I would never even know that you were a popper when I watch you doing hip hop. It's like, it's evident that, like you said, the music is what leads you, which is amazing. It's cool.
Thank you.
No, really. So Black Lives Matter. What is your voice on this in our industry that is, so not specifically in the world in general? What do you feel is happening in our industry that can be better with Black Lives Matter, with just a movement that needs to be pushed in our industry? What do you feel are the problems?
I just feel like when somebody's coming to you and saying that something is hurting, something, whatever it is, and you don't like it, you don't get a chance to say, oh, no, it doesn't. You need to listen to, you need to make the changes, period. I don't think it's complicating at all. I just think that people, well, sorry. I just think that people be selfish and, but like, if a guy came to me and said, hey, as a woman, you guys hurt my feelings, I would be like, dang, so what do I need better? I just think it's evident. Like, I don't think it's that complicated. I feel like people make it complicated for their own selfish reasons, for their own selfish. But especially in the like the community that Black people have influenced, like so many people, like asking people to listen to them, I feel like it's ridiculous, because I'm like, at this point, like, it's disappointing and it's sad. And honestly, I'm not to a point where I ask anybody to listen to me. I'm just like, okay, if you don't want to listen to me, then I'm gonna go my own way and just stay far away from it. I do understand certain people who want people to have empathy for them, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's that complicating. Like, if somebody's hurting, you don't tell them that no, they're not,
and give reasons and all that. If you just listen, totally.
Exactly.
Sure. So your association with Red Bull, that is a huge thing. How did you get associated with the brand? What does it mean? What are you associated to? If anyone doesn't know you, what is your position with Red Bull?
Okay, so the reason why I got associated with Red Bull is because I was dancing, and I was I don't know how to explain it. I was traveling all over the world. I was battling. I was winning against men and women. And I did some projects with them. And before I got signed to them, I did some projects with them. And they liked me and they wanted to sign me. I don't know. But
what does it mean to be signed with Red Bull? Do you travel with them? They send you, what does it entail?
Yeah, so I do travel with them and I work a lot with them. I think my favorite part, honestly, being signed with Red Bull, though, is getting to work with some of the other athletes that and dancers that I get to work with. So I feel like that would be my favorite part. And it is that supports my dreams and other things that I like outside of dancing, such as pollution and global warming and other things. Like, they support those kind of things. They don't just support me as a dancer financially. They might like support an idea that I have, or a battle, something like environmental things. So I'm grateful for that, because oftentimes people are just interested in what you do, and they're not really what else that you're passionate about. So I'm grateful that supports those things. I'm very grateful for that.
That's amazing. And the other athletes, are you guys, I know you said like you working with them, are you guys close as like a family, or do you see each other much, or what's the vibe with everyone?
So just like a normal family, just like a normal group, like you're close with someone, not close with everybody.
Yeah.
have a job to do. There's
Okay.
like you share a common passion.
Mm.
You share a common love. So it's
Mm.
like, okay, yeah, I agree with you on that. I might disagree with you on that, but I understand that this is like we're here because we all share a common love, and that's
Yeah.
dance. But everybody's not close.
Mm.
Everybody's not separated, but it's
Yeah.
genuine. Like I don't feel the need to pretend to be close to somebody that I'm
Yeah.
not. Like, and that's what I enjoy, because in the beginning I kind of thought that, oh, I hope that it's not like this, because I can be very standoffish.
Mm.
But it wasn't. Everybody is their own individual person.
Mm.
So like if you
That,
click with someone, click with them. If you don't, you don't, and that's it. Like nobody's gonna have like anger towards you.
yeah, that's cool. Sure. I mean, it's so nice to just hear like into the life of it, everyone always sees like I always say it's like people see the flashing lights, but never just the understanding of like you say, we're human. It's like a normal family. It's like
Right.
people make such a huge thing of things sometimes, and it's like, hey, we're just passionate people who are supported by a brand, who are or like connect, don't connect, inspire each other, which is cool to hear just from your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to say anything to end off, to females or dancers in the industry, I always ask this question in a way like, what would you say to your younger self if you could have told your younger self something a while ago? What would you say that, yeah.
I don't know what I would say to my younger self. What would I say to my youngest? I don't think I would say anything at the moment. Like right now, I can't
That's
think of
awesome.
anything that I
No,
would
that's
say to.
fine. What would you then say to, well, what are your words that you would say to a future generation of dancers coming up?
I would say to women, our future generations, like if you know that you are not given the fair opportunity in a situation, like study the situation and act accordingly, and make sure that you're able to change it, because I feel like what happens is when you know that you're a victim in something, sometimes you can kind of give up.
Sure.
But it's important as women, like, okay, we study how we got to this point, why we're in this point, and then come up with solutions how to get out of it. Because there's a solution to get out of it. I mean, it might be difficult. I'm not gonna say like, oh, it's just easy. Nothing's easy, but there is a solution. But also something for me, like I would really listen to hip hop music and the lyrics that the men would say, and I was like, dang, they really think that about us. They're really saying that about us. So then it would cause me to act accordingly. Like, okay, maybe not all men feel this way, but the men who don't feel this way aren't necessarily stepping up against the men who feel this way. So
Yeah.
because I'm gonna do what I have to do and do what I have to do to make sure that women are okay, because I can't depend on a man that's controlling the industry to make sure that we're good. So there's always keys to kind of point you in the direction that you should go. I feel like when you pay attention to those keys, don't let those negative moments get you down. Use them as stepping stones to help you figure out the solution.
Yeah.
Like there is a serious problem with the disrespect towards women. There's a huge, serious problem in that. So then you have to ask yourself, like, okay, all right, what am I gonna do with it? Even in the place where I'm dancing, there will be times where I was like, I don't feel comfortable dancing to this music. They're degrading women. But then I had to ask myself, like, how am I gonna go about this? So then it got to the point where I would dance to music that would degrade women, but I would flip it against the men. And especially if I'm dancing against the men, I would be like, okay, I know that this is the ideology of the way men think about women. So I'm going to take this negative thing and I'm going to kind of turn it into something positive. Sure. And when he says in the lyrics, I'm going to shake my head like, nah, I'm not with it. Or turn it back, dancing against. And granted, he might not have felt that way, but he's a man at the moment. And
Yeah, but it's also what becomes your voice for women. Like it just becomes how you can physically in your skills and in your in your gift, which is dance, just speak up, and using those moments. Like that's amazing. Flip.
Yeah, so I think that women need to flip the narrative, and though the men might be saying this about them, just like, all right, figure out ways to turn it back, because we have that victim mentality. And not to say that we haven't been victims and we're not victims, but we also have to understand that we are powerful as well. And when you're powerful, you don't just let somebody do something. You're like, okay, this is what they did, and I'm gonna do what I can to change it.
Yeah. Yo, I'm sitting here just like, you can keep talking. Literally. No, like flip. I'm inspired. Like that is a gem of what you just said, like literally gold, like put in my pocket. And just for other females to hear, just to hear that said so honestly, because at the same time we also need to remind, like I feel like we need to remind ourselves that we like I was interviewing Mary Poppins, and we were saying like there's this mentality where girls are in competition with each other from when we're young already. We have like this, we're in competition just naturally for whatever reason. There's not even a reason often, and like that can so often separate women from each other, and then you don't feel even like supported by the women in the industry or wherever we are. But
yes, I agree with. I also feel that when you're training and when you're surpassing certain levels, like people are gonna feel that way regardless. Because I feel like oftentimes we talk about women being pent against each other when it comes to certain things, but I remember women always like having a certain, being catty anyway, like climbing in the dance industry, and even to a point where I was battling and beating men, like I felt that they treated me the same way. Like I felt that they were catty towards me. I felt like they would up rumors and just do unnecessary stuff too. So I didn't see it as a woman. Oh, women are like that. I seen it as people who are jealous or envious or like that. So I feel like sometimes change our perception of what we think that women are, because honestly, men do it too.
It's true.
Men do it against each other, and I've witnessed them do it against me. So I don't have that. I don't think that we should have that mindset of, oh, women are catty, because men are just, oh my gosh, men are just, they just do it in a different way. They might not express it, or but they definitely are catty for sure.
Yeah, that's true. It's so true what you say. But then, like I was saying, in that perspective, what you were saying in the beginning is just so, like, it's just so inspiring, because it's about like whatever perspective we all feel in the end, like as females, whatever we feel as if we are victims or have this victim mentality, we need to so and so and so and so. So thank you for that. Really, like, thanks. And like I'm honored to be interviewing you and hearing your voice, but like obviously this is for everyone to hear. So thank you for your time, and thank you for being so honest, and thank you for inspiring all of us as dancers and women. You really are a great example of a woman in our industry. So thank you for that.
So much, Clay. I really appreciate it, and thank you for interviewing me. And yeah,
it's a pleasure. Well, it will be out there for the world. Thank you, GDS, for having us, and we will meet somewhere in the world again, Angyil.
So, and the police sirens are going off.
Right? Where are you at the moment?
I am in Mexico right now.
Okay,
but I'm still wherever they are. Stay safe during this moment. Don't allow things to get you down. Be safe, and take care of your loved ones. And thank you again. Thank you, BDS. Thank you. Shout out to Red Bull. Shout out to BDS. Shout out to South Africa. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Angyil.
Okay.
It's funny how money changes situation. Miscommunication leads to complications.